Even now at the professional level, I'm like, how do people not know like where to move? Like it blows my mind still. Like, but I think it just makes me like really appreciative of like what Coach Bluter was able to do when we were at Iowa. Like she was so smart. She was able to like construct a team and make sure everyone always knew what they were gonna do, whether you were the smartest basketball player on the team or you weren't. Like you were always on the same page with your teammates.
What happens when the WNBA's most electrifying playmaker is told to stop doing what makes her great? Caitlin Clark says that's exactly what's going on in Indiana. A coach who wants the game slowed to a crawl while she thrives in constant motion. This isn't just about pace, it's about two completely different basketball philosophies smashing into each other. And Caitlin didn't hold back, pointing to a late game moment where the safe call cost them points. We're breaking down why this clash isn't just a disagreement. It could change her career trajectory.
I'm sorry. Caitlin Clark not throwing a lob pass to this area right here is a bad play. You throw the lob pass over Kennedy Burke. Kennedy Burke's not athletic enough. You hit Kelsey Mitchell for a wide open layup. That is the play. Anything else is a dumb play.
There was one possession that Caitlin Clark swears told her the whole story. Not after the game, not in film review, right there in the middle of it. 2 minutes left, Indiana's up by 12, and instead of closing the door, she says the call came in to slow everything down, walk it up, drain the clock, play it safe. Only from her angle, there was nothing safe about letting the defense breathe.
You don't understand how hard it was for me to not throw that. And she's like, oh, I know, trust me. Everybody was like, we saw you about to throw that. But I think it's just like kind of a learning process. And it goes back to like even my shot thing. Like it's just time and score and understanding. I think that's like where I can still kind of improve. Like, do we really need that? Like,
the ball gets inbounded, the floor is wide open, and she spots Kelsey Mitchell streaking to the rim in stride. That's not a maybe bucket. That's a layup without a single hand in her face. Clark's already thinking, hit her now and it's a guaranteed 2. And in her mind, 2 more points puts the game on ice way better than milking a 30-second possession ever could.
The best case scenario is 2 points. It does not matter how much of the shot clock you burn in a 12-point game. It is better that you are up 14 than up 12.
Instead of letting it fly, the pace drops to a crawl. One deliberate dribble at half court, a second, and just like that, the lane collapses, the window slams shut, and the whole defense is set again. If you've watched Clark over the years, you know she thrives on those half-second reads. She said she would have made the best pass in the WNBA right there. That's not arrogance. That's her being completely sold on what she saw. I started the fourth quarter off with like 3 turnovers in a row or 2 turnovers in a row, and Steph yanked me and she was like, this is like a learning moment. Like, you gotta be able to like, yes, like maybe it could have been there, like maybe you could have thrown a little bit better
pass, maybe they could have caught it, but like, do we need that in this moment? Like, no.
Caitlin Clark recognized the mismatch, knew the timing, and trusted her ability to deliver a pass on target before the defense had time to react. But instead, they were playing keep away from the clock, not from the opponent. And here's where she's crystal clear. To her, protecting a lead doesn't mean babying it. It means putting it out of reach.
It is literally a mentality of playing not to lose or playing to win. And it's very clear that Caitlin Clark's mentality is, we're playing to blow teams out.
In her head, you get up by 14 with under 2 minutes, and the team on the other sideline starts thinking about the bus ride home. Every second you hesitate gives them reasons to believe they're still in it. That approach doesn't live in the same world as running the shot clock down just because you can.
Where Stephanie White's mentality, you can see it by how they played, especially with Caitlin. Stephanie White's mentality, we saw was why they were blowing 74-quarter leads. She tried to dribble the clock out. Stephanie White wants to dribble the clock out in the fourth quarter, and that's her natural instinct, is to dribble the clock out in the fourth quarter.
Clark even cracked a grin in the middle of it. Not out of humor, but because that was the exact moment she realized she and Coach White were playing 2 entirely different games. White wanted control. Clark wanted momentum. White valued structure. Clark wanted to attack before the defense could reset. That gap wasn't subtle. It felt like a canyon in that instant. That single possession stopped being about the 2 points Kelsey Mitchell didn't get. It became a perfect snapshot of the bigger issue, Clark's instincts versus the Fever's system. And once you see it through that lens, it changes how you view everything that follows. Every possession starts to feel like a tug-of-war between speed and order, chaos and control.
I mean this when I say this. I would rather Caitlin Clark if Caitlin makes 4 of those crazy passes and 2 of them come off and 2 of them don't, I would rather her make that pass 4 times, because if those passes come off, it's a guaranteed 2 points. If they don't come off, you might concede.
For Clark, this was never just about a missed layup. It was about a style of basketball being slowed, reshaped, and molded into something that doesn't feel like her own. It's about watching her best weapon, unpredictability, get dulled by a system that prizes patience over pressure. And the more you look at it, the more it's clear this isn't about one night in the fourth quarter. It's about an identity clash that isn't going away anytime soon.
Caitlin Clark likes the ball in her hand. She's more of a read and react type player. Well, I'm here to tell you, she just went on Sue Bird and she just spilt the beans, bruh. She missed Lisa Bluter. She missed the way they ran the offense. She missed the entire thing.
Caitlin's biggest weapon isn't her scoring, it's the way she can see a play before it happens. The problem? The second you slow her down and make her run something overly scripted, that weapon basically vanishes. She calls it playing in a blur. That's when she's at her best, reacting to whatever's right in front of her, not standing there trying to remember the fourth option in a set they drilled at practice.
I can't stand Stephanie White as a basketball coach for Caitlin Clark. Like, I don't think that Stephanie White is a bad coach. Like, don't get it twisted. She's not a bad coach at all. I just don't think she's the right coach for Caitlin Clark.
When she talks about her best basketball, it's always about those moments where she's running up the floor with the defense scrambling, making reads in real time. That's where the magic comes from. The no-look passes, the let-ahead dimes, the quick pull-ups in transition. But when you take that and drop it into a slow, deliberate half-court system, it's like putting a governor on a sports car. Sure, it can still go, but you just robbed it of the thing that makes it special.
She was a rebound and assist off a 32-point triple-double. And, like, is the only reason her team's in the game. And let's be real, in the post-game press conference, Caitlin Clark made sure to give out about Caitlin Clark not passing the ball to Daniels.
Right now, the Fever's motion offense is built around sequence after sequence. Pass here, cut there, feed the post, reverse it. All of that takes time, which means defenders have a chance to reset and get in perfect position. Clark said in the fourth quarter, she's literally been told to dribble the clock out.
I'm sorry, like, we played the percentages. What is the likelihood that Caitlin Clark makes an assist to Kelsey Mitchell on that break? 85%. 85%. And the difference is, do you want to know what the difference is? Is that Caitlin gets a steal, dribbles in, hits Kelsey Mitchell, the crowd gets hyped. Is the crowd going to get hyped when you start dribbling the ball to halfway line?
Instead of attacking when the defense is backpedaling, Clark is forced to hold it and wait. And once that clock hits the teens, any chaotic advantage is gone. Back at Iowa, she had constant spacing, 4 shooters ready to pull, everyone comfortable getting a look early in the shot clock. It wasn't just run and gun for the sake of it. It was spacing designed to make the defense choose immediately. And whichever way they reacted, Caitlin already had an answer.
Even our backup post players, like, I always think about like how Coach Bluter like ran practices and things, and like I'm very fortunate looking back and like now going to like watch other colleges' practices and things like that. Like, she really like was so intentional about like making sure everyone was on the same page and like knew what they were doing and knew their role.
Clark could swing the ball to the corner before the weak side help even knew who they were guarding. It's not just feel, there's actual data behind it. Her efficiency in transition is way higher than in a half-court possession. When she's pushing, her numbers spike. Not because she's chucking shots, but because the defense doesn't have time to load up on her.
Right thing, there's 2:25 to go. This is a 12-point game. The game is as good as over, but Caitlin has 2 choices to basically give them a basket. They can dagger the shot. At this stage, I don't care. I don't care. You've won the game anyway. You have to do really dumb shit to lose the game. But like, there's no reason why Caitlin needs to take that dribble with the right hand.
Compare that to a half-court trip where Clark is walking the ball up, staring at a defense that's already decided how it will trap or switch before she even crosses half-court. She's admitted that the moment her brain shifts into think mode, everything slows down, and not in a good way. The reads take longer, passing lanes disappear quicker, and what was once pure instinct turns into hesitation.
It's not Caitlin's fault that her teammates don't know where to go on the basketball court, bro. Like, if she passed you the ball, you should mentally know you're a professional damn athlete, where your feet need to be set, where you need to be positioned at. in the basketball game. If you're running a play, if she's coming off a pick and roll, it could be any set.
In the WNBA, defenses are too good for that. Give them an extra beat and they'll shut you down. Let them rest and they'll send more bodies your way. That's why the conversation about pace isn't simply about sprinting up the floor. It's about keeping Clark in her natural element, making split-second decisions at full speed.
Any coach, and I mean this, any coach that makes the best passer in the WNBA not either give the ball to Kelsey Mitchell for an open layup or hit Sophie Cunningham for an open three-point shot should not be listened to.
When she's in motion, she's unpredictable. Defenses are reacting to her, not the other way around. But slow it down, and the balance shifts. Now they're dictating the terms. This isn't just about limiting her shot count or lowering her assist numbers. It's about reshaping her into something unrecognizable from the chaos-driven, attack-first player we've seen before. And in doing so, you risk dulling the very edge that makes her so dangerous in the first place.
Caitlin Clark's a player that plays off instinct. Like, Caitlin is a player who plays off instinct. Caitlin's a player who goes on runs. The problem is that if Caitlin starts overthinking, she doesn't go on the runs. The runs are when Caitlin just decides.
A lot of people watching this situation think Stephanie White is trying to turn Caitlin Clark into someone she's not. And it's not just random fan chatter either. You can see it in how the team runs their offense and who that style actually benefits. The talk going around is that White wants Caitlin to play more like certain guards who are built for slower, more deliberate basketball. Think high IQ, patient, methodical, but also predictable. That might work for players who like to control every beat of the possession. The thing is, Caitlin's danger comes from being the exact opposite of that. Her game is built on chaos for the defense. It's the quick trigger passes nobody saw coming. It's hitting a cutter 2 steps earlier than they expected.
Caitlin Clark talking about her coach Lisa Bluder and how smart she is with offense. If you understand offense and how to break it down, you would understand how sophisticated the offense was. And it's all about fit and floor spacing.
It's the willingness to throw that skip past the second a defender blinks. That unpredictability is what tilts the floor in her favor. When you start telling her to slow down and wait for the offense to cycle through all its motions, you strip that unpredictability away. And that's exactly why some folks are saying White's vision looks more like a Paige Bucher's type mold. Again, not Caitlin's words, but a style that's calm, measured, and not reliant on constant pace.
If there's any passiveness in Caitlin Clark, I'm sorry that Stephanie White wants you to be Paige Beckers. But like, if Stephanie White really wants you to be Paige Beckers, go to Amber and be like, look, I'm clearly not the player this coach wants. Go trade me for Paige. Go trade me for Paige. Go send me to Dallas. Go send me to Dallas. I don't care.
You can actually see the ripple effect this has on teammates. Take Kelsey Mitchell, for example. In a faster, free-flowing system, Mitchell becomes a nightmare to guard. She's darting without the ball, catching before her defender can react, and either attacking or pulling up instantly.
And you've heard it, like, if you hear Paige talk about the Oklahoma game, which is her best ever college game, she says, you know what, it was just a blur. It was just a blur. Basically, she was playing off instinct. It was a blur. She didn't know what was happening. She was just scoring. When Caitlin goes into off instinct, it's a blur. I'm just going to assist 4 times in a row and score 6 points in a row.
In the motion offense they're running now, there's a second version of Kelsey Mitchell, the one who ends up standing beyond the arc, waiting while the ball gets swung around and the shot clock runs. That's what happens in a ball-dominant, clock-eating setup. It turns an off-ball killer into a spot-up option.
2 different versions of Kelsey Mitchell. And the thing is that she fully allows Kelsey Mitchell to do as much dumb shit as she wants. But Caitlin Clark does something that I don't even think is dumb, but she deems as being an incorrect play, and all the outcome is that Caitlin Clark makes a dumb play.
Like, that's where Clark's vision stands out. She wants guys like Mitchell constantly moving, giving her lanes and passing angles to work with. She wants shooters space so that the defense never knows which side the next hit is coming from. The motion offense doesn't encourage that. It encourages that slow build where every pass is about setting up the next pass, not striking when the chance is right there.
And we have Caitlin Clark talking about players in the WNBA not knowing how to move, not knowing the correct places to be, the correct spots to be in. We have Caitlin Clark bringing up, people are talking about me not winning a national championship, and it was at Iowa. You You guys know about Iowa, right? A team that nobody ever expected to make it as far as they made it.
It's not that it doesn't work for some rosters. It does. It's that it doesn't put Caitlyn's strengths at the front, which is why this is bigger than just a pace argument. This is a straight-up identity question. Are the Fever going to lean into what makes their franchise star one of one? Or are they going to pull her into a system she has to fit into, even if that means muting the part of her game that scares opponents the most?
She does. And this is a coach who clearly does not want Caitlin Clark to be Caitlin Clark. Because I'm sorry, like, you take the positives with the negatives with Caitlin. Yes, 1 of every 5 times she tries to pull off the spectacular, she will do something dumb. And there are times where she tries to pull off the spectacular at different times in games and it doesn't work out. That is fine. You live with that.
This isn't just a system versus player debate. This is the kind of move that could slow her whole development curve. And the longer they go this route, the more it's going to shape not just this season, but the player she becomes over the next several years.
I don't care about what Stephanie White says. Anything else is not only a dumb play, you don't run, the crowd doesn't get involved, and it makes the game boring. Stephanie White wants Caitlin to be boring. It's very clear.
This was never about Caitlin Clark trying to run the show just for ego's sake. It's about how you handle a once-in-a-generation player. Do you mold her into the system you already have? Or do you rebuild the system so her strengths hit like a sledgehammer every game? Coaches say the best approach is always to adapt the system to the talent.
Coaching, 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 coaching. That's what I heard. Coaching, 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 coaching. And she stamps it at the end by saying, even if you're not the most smartest basketball player on the court, due to how great of a coach Lisa Bluder was, you always knew the exact spot you needed to be in.
So here's the question. Should Caitlin adjust to the Fever's style, or should Indiana bend to hers? Because however they answer it, that decision's about to be the blueprint, or the warning sign, for the next wave of WNBA stars.